spring semester exam. And of course, this exam has two parts. Part one has MCQ, and part two it has Python, okay, arrays and list, sets and all. And it has normalization, and it has SQL. Okay, so inshallah we will take this just as a practice, see how we can solve the questions in the exam. So what do you suggest? Is it good? We'll do this practice today.
Yes, doctor, very good.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. How about other students? You have to be with me, in solving this, just to get an idea clearly that how we solve these questions. Okay, how we create the normalization. I mean, normalized tables from unnormalized table, and up to 3 normal forms, and then the SQL part, how we write SQL queries by looking at the tables and the questions. Can you see the screen?
Yes,
doctor.
Good. Okay. We'll start from this part. The question here is, consider the following passenger report. So this is a report. Okay. The first part of the report contains details of the flight and pilot. So here it is, the flight ID. Okay. And pilot ID, pilot name, origin, and destination, from where it is taking off and where it will land. Okay. The second part contains the passenger details. So here it is, passenger details, passenger ID, passenger name, nationality, seat number. These are all passenger details. Okay, which seat he is taking. Okay, now this is the report given. Question is, normalize the report into zero normal form, first normal form, second, third normal form. Show the complete relations with the given data in each normal form. You need to normalize it and show the data along with this. Okay. From zero normal form. So zero normal form, it means you include all this data in one table. Then you select primary keys. Then you, in first normal form, you go to first normal form. Just 1 minute, please. It's prayer call here. Okay, so it says here that normalize to zero normal form, first normal form, second, third normal form, and so on. Show the complete relations with the given data in each normal form along with the data. It is asking to show along with the data. So this is the report, a passenger report. First, and there is a note given here. Seat number depends on flight ID and passenger ID. So where is the seat number? Here is the seat number. It's depending on flight ID and passenger ID. Now from this you can say flight ID and passenger ID together is primary key, and it is a fact that a passenger book on a flight on one time, right? And he will get a seat in that flight. So it is a fact. So you can take flight ID and passenger ID as primary key at the first place. Okay. Now, first thing here is that zero normal form, because it asks for us four normal forms: zero, first, second, third normal form. So what we will do in the zero normal form? Any guess? If I want to do this in a zero normal form, this report, I want to bring it in zero normal form. And I'll do it here. Okay. Can you please tell me that what can be added in the zero normal form? So this is a report, right? This is a report, passenger report, right? So in zero normal form, which is unnormalized, zero normal form, what I can include in this zero normal form? It is, let's say I will name this table as report. Okay, passenger report. So what I will take in this table? What are the attributes I will take in this table? Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you, doctor.
Yeah, it is one table. It is one table. Yes, it is one table. But what attributes you will take in this table? Attribute means what are the column names you will take. Of course, you are creating a table here, right? So you will create a complete table here. So this table will create, right? So in this table, what are the attributes you will take? What columns you will add here? Tell me, please. What columns you will add here? Very simple and easy. Don't think too much. What is the data here in this report? Okay, tell me what is the data in this report? What we have the data in this report?
Passenger ID.
Passenger ID, we have passenger ID. Okay, very
Passenger
good.
name, passenger
Passenger
nationality, seat number.
nationality,
So
seat number. Okay. What else we have?
Flight ID, pilot ID, pilot
Flight
name,
pilot ID, pilot name, origin, destination. Yeah, this is the data. Why you are thinking too much? Or you're not interested in the class?
No, I just don't know the zero normalization, how it will be.
You don't need to think too much. Just say what you are getting in mind. So in this report, we have the data, flight ID, pilot name. So we add the same thing here. Nothing new to add here. So I will add flight ID. I will say FID as flight ID. Then I will add pilot ID, PID as pilot ID. Then I will add P name as pilot name. Then I will add what? Origin, destination. Okay, so I got this, I got this, I got this, this, and this. Now, what is remaining? Passenger ID. So I will say PS ID, passenger ID, PS name, passenger name, then passenger nationality, PS nationality. Okay. Then finally, seat number. That's it. No need to think too much. Right? So I have all this data in a form of table. Here, the seat number. Got? That's it. And the data. What is flight ID? Flight ID is, what is the flight ID? OM.
Oh, I'm 234.
Passenger ID 345. Passenger name, pilot ID,
Pilot
pilot name
ID.
Jack. Origin Muscat. I will say MSC. Destination Bahrain. Passenger ID PR1. Passenger name Muhammad. Passenger nationality Oman. Seat number 12A. Enter the same data again for the next passenger. So you will have the same data. OM 234, 345, Jack from Muscat to Bahrain. Another passenger PR5, Said. Then Bahrain nationality 13E. Like this you have for passenger 5, PR6. PR6. The same thing, OM 234, 345, Jack, Muscat, Bahrain. What is his name? PR6 name, Mariam. Then Bahrain 13F. That's it. Khalas, you finished entering all the data. And this is in zero normal form. This table is in zero normal form. Good. Very simple and clear. No need to think too much. Fine. So this is in zero normal form. Now recall that what is first normal form. Our next job is first normal form, to create the table in first normal form. So what is first normal form? You just need to remember this. I mean, just recall this. What is 1NF? Can you please tell me what is 1NF? 1NF says. Yesterday we discussed it. Quickly, we don't have time. We just have 1 hour. Yesterday we discussed it. Yes. What 1NF says? 1NF says there should not be repeated groups. No repeated groups of data, and there should be a primary key. So in this primary key, we said the primary key is flight ID and passenger ID. Okay, and there is a repeated group of data here. Which is repeated group? Flight ID, passenger ID, passenger name, sorry, pilot ID. 1 minute. Something wrong here. What is the wrong is that our primary key is flight ID and passenger ID. So it is passenger ID. These two are primary key. Now what are the repeated groups? We have flight ID, pilot name, origin, destination. This is a repeated group, as you see. And these are non-repeated. Okay, so this repeated group you need to separate and keep this non-repeated separate. So two tables you will create. One is report. One you will create with flight ID, pilot ID, pilot name, origin, destination. So one table you will have flight ID, pilot ID, pilot name, origin, destination. This is one table. Okay. So what is flight ID? OM 234, pilot ID 345, name Jack, origin Muscat, destination Bahrain. So this is table with primary key, with the primary key flight ID, because it is taken from here, flight ID. So taking out, or apart from this, keeping the primary key, you create the second table. Apart from this, keeping the primary key, you will create the second table. So what will be that second table? In first normal form, you will keep the flight ID as it is. Then pilot ID, pilot name, origin, destination, you already taken here. So what is remaining? Passenger ID, flight ID, passenger name, then passenger nationality, then seat number. Okay, so it is another table, and its data is flight ID OM234, passenger ID PR1, and name Muhammad. Okay, so enter this all data, nationality Oman, and 12A seat number. Similarly, you are going to add OM234 for passenger 5 and passenger 6, who is Said and Mariam from Bahrain, and their seat number 13E and 13F. So this is the data. Okay, so this, in this one, which will be the primary key? Flight ID, of course, and passenger ID, because passenger ID is already selected as primary key. Fine. So these two tables are in first normal form. Clear? Any doubts still here?
No, sir.
Other students? This is very important. Okay. No, this is in first normal form. So after first normal form, the next is second normal form. So we create the from first data from first normal form to second normal form. Okay. So I will take this first normal form here in this page, so that it will be easy for me to create here. Okay. Now what is second NF, 2NF, second normal form? Can you define what is 2NF? We did yesterday.
We remove any attributes that only depend on primary key.
Very good. So the opposite of it is we remove partial dependency. What we will remove? We'll remove partial dependency. So what is partial dependency? From this definition of second normal form is that the relation should be in first normal form, and there should not be any partial dependency. So what is partial dependency? A non-primary key attribute is not dependent on part of the primary key. Part of the primary key, no. Okay, and it should be dependent on whole primary key. So any non-primary key attribute, if it is dependent on part of the primary key, meaning that that is not in second normal form. And this is possible only when the primary key is a composite key. Composite key, it means the primary key should have more than one attribute as a primary key. The relation should have more than one attribute as a primary key. Okay, so if you look at the first table here, which is giving the flight information along with the pilot information, okay, which I will call this, for example, this is a flight information along with pilot, and this is the report, or you can say flight with passenger, or you can call it as a report. Okay. Now in this flight table, in this relation, do we have a composite key? How many attributes as primary key? It is only one attribute as primary key. So there is no question of partial dependency here. Because it is only one key, so all other attributes should depend on this key. So hence there is no question of partial dependency. So this table will be as it is. This table you will copy as it is. It will be in second normal form. Okay. Now coming to this table, we have two attributes as primary key. So what is the primary key of this table? This table has flight ID and passenger ID as primary key, which is a composite key, making two. So there is a chance here that some non-primary key may depend on part of this primary key. Some non-primary key. So let us check that. We know that passenger name, passenger nationality is related with the passenger ID, depending on passenger ID. So here there is a partial dependency, that passenger name depends on passenger ID and passenger nationality also depends on passenger ID, which is a part of the primary key. So there is a partial dependency here. Partial dependency. So we need to remove this partial dependency. So what we will do? We will create a table called passenger. Okay, where we will include passenger ID, which is partial dependencies, passenger name, and passenger nationality. Okay, as one table. And what will be the primary key for this? For this table, what will be the primary key?
Passenger ID.
Passenger ID, very good. Okay, and you copy all the data. What is the data? We have PR1, PR5, and PR passenger 6. Muhammad, Sayed, Mariam. And nationality Oman, Bahrain, and Bahrain. Copy all the data. We are copying the data because it is asked in the question. Otherwise, no need to copy the data. You can also just write the attributes as a relation. Okay. Now from this table, we take out passenger ID, name, and nationality. Since passenger ID is a part of the primary key, we'll keep it along with the flight ID. And what is remaining? Seat number. So our report will be now what? Flight ID, passenger ID, and seat number. So it is flight ID OM234, 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 passenger ID PR1, PR5, PR6, seat number 12A, 13E, 13F. Done. So how many tables we have here? We have passenger, we have report, and we have flight also, because we copy this flight here, because flight is already in the 2NF. Okay, so 3 tables we will have here. Fine. So you have to copy, you have to write it here. I will write it. You will not get confused. Flight ID. What is this? What else it is? Pilot ID. Pilot ID. Pilot name. Origin. Destination. So what is flight ID? OM234. Passenger ID. Oh, sorry. Pilot ID is what? 345. 345. Name is Jack. Origin Muscat. Destination Bahrain. This is the data. Okay, so you got 3 tables. Here flight ID, and here flight ID and passenger ID according to here from here. So this is in second normal form. Any questions here?
No, clear, doctor.
Want to ask anything? Someone's voice is not clear.
يا فراس صوتك واضح يا فراس.
Ras. Oh, okay, that's why there is no sound in the class.
منخفض صوتك مرة. علي المايك ولا عدل شيء.
Okay, there is a good question here. Is the normalization method for any data the same method for any data, or does it differ according to the data given? No, the procedure is same for any given data or any report. The procedure is same. First normal form will remain as it is, that there should not be repeated groups, they should be primary key. Second normal form will be as it is, there should not be partial dependency. Third normal form will be as it is, that there should not be a transitive dependency. Okay. Now let's move to third normal form. Now what is third normal form? Awad, you tell me now, what is third normal form? 3NF.
Doctor,
Yes,
do you hear me?
yes, I can hear you loudly.
اوكي، كنت عم بسألك انه على المسميات، انت غيرت المسميات عادي؟
عادي، بس يكون هبين انه تقريبا نفسه هي. عشان ما يكمل الصفحة هنا، عشان كده انا غيرت.
يعني اختصارات عادي.
ايوه اختصارات عادي، ما في مشكلة.
تمام.
اوكي. Passenger name. Now give me the definition of 3NF. What is 3NF?
We remove any attributes that are not dependent on the primary key.
Yes.
It's the opposite for 2NF.
Opposite of 2NF.
Yes.
Not opposite of 2NF. Here there should be there should not be transitive dependency, meaning that any non-primary key attribute should not be dependent on non-primary key attribute. Okay. So if you see there is an attribute which is dependent on another attribute, and that attribute is not a primary key. Okay. because that is also depend on primary key, for example. So if we have attributes like this, where is the pen? If you have, like, for example, I have A is a primary key and I have B, C, D. I see that D is depending on B, okay, and B is depending on primary key. So this is transitive dependency, where B is not a primary key, but D is depending on non-primary key on B. So in this case, this is called transitive dependency. In this case, we need to remove this transitive dependency. You need to take out B and D as separate, okay, and keep A, B, C as separate. Okay. Now let us look the same here in our tables. We have this passenger table. Of course, there is nothing like that because passenger name, passenger nationality, depending on passenger ID. We have here report, flight ID, passenger ID, seat number. These two are primary keys. So seat number is depending on this. It is also given in the question. We have this flight and pilot information, where we have flight ID, pilot name, origin, destination. Now here we see pilot name depending on pilot ID, because pilot ID depends on flight ID, and pilot ID is not primary key. So in this case, this table is already in 3NF, and this one is already in 3NF, but this is not in 3NF. So in this case, what we will do, we will take out this transitive dependency. Pilot ID and pilot name, we'll take it separate as table. Pilot ID 345, name Jack. Okay, so this will be a pilot table. And the other is what? And what is remaining? We remain flight ID. Okay, and origin and destination. Right. Now here we need to also keep the pilot ID. We need to also keep the pilot ID, right? Because pilot ID is forming the primary key here. Pilot ID is forming the primary key here. So we keep that pilot ID and origin and destination for the flight. So this will be a flight with flight OM 234, pilot 345, the origin Muscat and destination Bahrain. Okay. So we have how many tables now? 4 tables. Here it is 1. This is 2. The new one 3, and this one with, let's say, flight information, flight info as 4 table. So 1, 2, 3, 4 tables in 3NF. So you need to copy these 2 tables, number 1 and number 2, passenger and report here. You need to copy, okay, showing that these 4 tables are in third normal form. Okay, this is the solution for it. You have any question? No questions? Everything is clear?
Clear, Doctor.
I will give you a question. Can you solve it now?
I try.
No, try. I want 100%. You said clear.
اوكي، بس انه انت اول شغله انه انا ماني فاهمان على خطك كثير، تمام. الشغله الثانيه انه بدي احاول حل السؤال ورقيا، مش انه اعطيك السؤال 100% جوابه.
انا دحين اقول لك ما نفهم. ها؟
لا انا فاهم عليك، لكن يعني هي الجزئيه بالذات بدها دراسه منيح، لانه لسه امبارح اعطيتني اياها، انا نسيان شو اكل امبارح.
لا انا شرحت مرتين الحين، امس اليوم.
ما هو كمان الدكتور يعني عذرنا كمان الخط يعني.
طيب اوكي، خير ان شاء الله. It's simple and easy. Don't worry. You need to just remember what is first
and
normal
practice.
and third and all, and along with the practice. You can make similar reports and do this. Okay, Ibrahim. Yes.
Assalamu alaikum, Doctor.
Alaikum assalam.
Yesterday we have a lecture, but yesterday I didn't attend.
Okay, you are absent, so you will get absent there.
Yes.
So what you want? You want present?
To be honest, I forget the time for
Inshallah,
for
you forget
lecture.
last time.
Really, well, I forget this time at 8 o'clock. I'm so sorry, Doctor.
No problem. No need to sorry. I remember my father. When we forget anything, my father used to say me, "You are forgetting these small things. How you remember your school classes, books, and answers and questions? How you study?" Anyway, no problem. Inshallah, don't worry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do your best in the studies and don't worry about it, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you.
Okay. Khair. The next question here is, it is asking another question. Write the table names resulting in 3NF, list primary keys and foreign keys. So we have 4 tables. So of course there will be 4 names here. Okay. And let's say we have table number 1. It is, let's say, the passenger table. So we write that passenger here, passenger table. What is the primary key in passenger table? Of course, passenger ID. There is no foreign key. So primary key is passenger ID, and foreign key, no foreign key. Okay, we'll keep it as it is. No foreign key. Then the second table, we have this report. Okay, so whatever you name it report or whatever. We have primary key, passenger flight ID and passenger ID. Okay, so I will call this as report. The primary key is flight ID and passenger ID. Is it passenger ID or pilot ID? Passenger ID. Okay, passenger ID, and they are the foreign keys also, because they are not related to the table. It is coming from flight table and passenger table, so they're also the foreign keys. Okay, then we have table pilot, where pilot ID is the primary key. You did not see this, we did not underline. Remember that all the primary keys should be underlined. Okay, fine. So here pilot ID, so we have this pilot table. What happened to this? I'm doing spelling mistakes. Mashallah. Okay, pilot ID, okay, is the primary key, and there is no foreign key for the pilot here. So right, so we don't have any foreign key here. Then flight information, the flight table here. Let's say, for example, this is a flight table. So we have flight ID as primary key and passenger ID as, sorry, the pilot ID is foreign key. Okay, so we have that flight info or flight. So flight ID is primary key and pilot ID is the foreign key. Okay, so you have to just fill here what are the primary keys and foreign keys. Not necessary every table will have the foreign key, but every table should have a primary key. Fine, this is what you need to fill. Okay, so you do it again, this problem. I'll send you this file. Try to do the same, this problem, and inshallah practice it. Inshallah you will get it. Okay, the next here is any questions, anything you want to ask?
دكتور بالمد هلا انت هون حددت لنا انه البرايمري كي والفورين كي، لكن بالمد مثلا انا شفت كذا مد انه مو محدد تحتها خط انه هذه لازم تكون برايمري كي او فورين كي. طيب كيف نحن فينا نميز، ولا اجتهاد شخصي؟
طيب مع اجتهاد شخصي وفي ممكن النوت عندك. أول شيء شفنا هنا سؤال، لما شفنا السؤال هنا مكتوب النوت هنا seat number depends on flight ID and passenger ID, meaning that it is identifying something by using flight ID and passenger ID. So
طيب صحيح.
flight ID and passenger ID will be initially primary key. And it is a fact that one passenger will go in one flight in one time. So these two as a primary key. We'll take it as a primary key.
تمام، بس كان في مد انه ما اجى فيها هيك شيء انه مثل هون مكتوب عم يعطينا نوت.
ما فيها مشكلة بس انت تشوف الاشياء مثلا في الريبورت، مثلا نجيب ريبورت زي كذا، تشوف في ريبورت informations. So الانفورميشن ايش يميز في هذا الانفورميشن؟ اشياء اللي ممكن to find the details. Like for example, if I know flight ID, I can find the details. If I know passenger ID, I can find the details. Like this, you have to find the keys which you combine, you make it, you combine to make the relation unique. So إذا أنا أقول لك إنه هذا اثنين primary key، لازم يكون بهذا الاثنين primary key كل row unique. مثلا OM234 with PR1 will be unique. So you don't find OM234 PR1 again repeated. In the
Okay.
flight, the same passenger. So you will take that two attributes, flight ID and passenger ID, as a primary key, even if it is not given the note. You have to look like this. If I say, for example, if I say OM234 and 35 pilot ID, these are repeating. So I cannot take flight ID and pilot ID here, because these are repeating for different passengers. It is repeating. So in this case, I cannot take. So I'll go for the next pilot name. It is not possible. Origin not possible. Destination not possible. Passenger ID, it is possible because one flight, one passenger. So I will take that. Okay. So like this, you have to find that that the table should get every row unique by these keys or the attributes. Okay, if it is given, it is well and good. If not given, then you can find it like this, in this way.
ممكن يكون عندك الباسنجر نيم برايمري كي.
Passenger name can be repeated. We all know that. في شخص
ممكن
أيوة.
ممكن يكون محمد الفلاني، بس هون مختصرين انه حاطط بس الاسم الاول.
ايوه، هو اسم الاول عندنا هنا اسم الاول واسم الثاني. في الهند ما في اسم الاول ولا ثاني، اسمه واحد بس.
تمام.
اسمي محمد سليمان وابويا محمد خالد.
ما شاء الله.
فممكن في شخص، يعني ما نشوف في مكان واحد، نشوف ايش الاتريبيوت. في شخص ممكن فيه repeated names، فما نقدر ناخذ name كبرايمري كي. اوكي. nationality ما نقدر ناخذ. ممكن ناخذ seat number، اذا كل واحد عنده seat لحال اكيد ممكن نقدر ناخذ seat number. but هنا
صحيح السيت نمبر ما يتغير.
ممكن
ما يتكرر.
ما تكرر. ممكن ناخذ seat number، ولكن هنا في note مكتوب seat number depends on flight ID and passenger ID. If this note was not there, there is a possibility that you can take the seat number. But again, you have to see if you need this seat number or not. يعني احتاج هذا seat number ولا بس يكفي flight ID و passenger ID نميز كل الروز هنا. فإذا كفي flight ID و passenger ID will give a unique rows. خلاص, we don't go for the third. We'll keep it only for 2.
دكتور أنا عندي
Yes محمد.
أنا بس بتأكد من معلومتي. أنا اللي أعرف إنه قواعد البيانات هي تعتمد أكثر شيء يعني على البرايمري كي، غيرها ما أتوقع يعني في شيء ممكن إنه يفيدنا. هل هذا صحيح ولا يعني 100%؟
قواعد البيانات كل جدول، إذا قاعدة البيانات بريليشنال داتابيس، كل جدول لازم يكون البرايمري. اوكي، غير الفورين كي. الفورين كي ممكن يجي ممكن ما يجي، بس برايمري كي اكيد لازم.
لانه
كل جدول
مميز يعني
برايمري.
يميز الشخص عن شخص
ايوه، يميز كل الروز، كل الداتا. ايوه، شخص من الشخص. مثلا باسنجر اي دي، هذا يميز لكل باسنجر. اوكي، مثلا ستودنت اي دي، كل ستودنت عنده اي دي لحال، حتى في ستودنت سيم نيم بيجي نفس هذا. اوكي
تمام يا دكتور، يعطيك العافيه.
اوكي، so I
دكتور
think
ندخل على SQL بس لو سمحت.
أيوة.
سؤال على SQL كتابة، ندخل على سؤال SQL كتابة قبل ما انه نفنش المحاضرة.
خلص الوقت.
باقي 6 دقائق دكتور لو سمحت، بس
6 دقيقة ما اقدر اكتب ولا واحد.
لا عادي، حتى لو كلام بس.
طيب انت عندك، انا ما عندي وقت الحين، خلاص انا اقول لك مع السلامة.
الله يسامحك دكتور، ما انت كريم ونستاهل.
طيب we'll take this. If you don't have any questions in this, I hope that normalization is clear with you all, and you please do practice the same problem and other problems. I know you have previous exams. Try to do from the previous exams also, and try to find it in the normalization. It's very good and it is required, not just for exams, even in your future. If you are designing databases and all, it is required, especially if you're designing the it is of course for relational databases. Okay, now come to question number 3. It's talking about there is an airline reservation database, fine, which has information like passenger information, passenger ID, first name, last name, email. So here the primary key is passenger ID. I think I will show you this. Yeah, it is underlined, as you can see. Okay, it is underlined here. So you can see here that this is underlined. So primary key is here. Similarly, there is a reservation table. We have reservation ID, passenger ID as primary key in this one, reservation table. Similarly, we have a flight table. We have flight ID, airline code, origin, destination code, departure time, arrival time. And similarly, we have, okay, this is the data we have. Okay, so all this data is given along with this description is also given here. Fine. Description, you can use description just to know what is this, but I think it is not required. Even if it is not given, it is okay. They just give the tables, that is okay. If they give only this, like this, flight and its attributes, reservation and its attributes, passenger and its attributes, that will be okay to write the queries. Okay, you don't need all this description and all, but it is given here anyhow, it's okay. Now let us see what are the questions here. The first question here is list flight IDs and destination airport code of all flights flying from origin airport code DXB, which is Dubai. So how you start writing this SQL query for this type of questions? I think Firas can help us.
Yes, I can help. We need create a database first, or مباشرة
Don't need to
ندخل
create
على
database here. It is already given. Database is already given. Just write the SQL.
Okay, we create a table and create table and give name. Okay, ونعطيها شو اسمه القيم الموجودة عندي، إذا كانت انتجر ولا كانت كشار.
Yeah, Firas, we don't want to create the tables. Okay, we just want the query to get the answer. List flight IDs and destination airport codes of all flights flying from the origin.
Okay, select, sorry.
Yes. Sorry, in the exam will not do anything.
Yes. we use select airport
Okay.
code.
Where is my pen? Okay, I'll write it here. You just keep saying, I will write. Okay, I will type it. Inshallah, my writing is not good. So I will type it here. Okay, what I write? Select what?
Airport code.
Select airport code.
لا, his name origin airport code.
Origin airport code. Okay. Select origin.
Before that, he say airport codes of all flight.
Okay.
يعني select star. Select star.
Select star.
Yes. Select star from origin airport code.
From.
لا.
Select star from.
origin airport code column. هي الكولوم هذه.
Origin airport code. That's it. Origin
Yes.
airport code. خلاص كده تمام. I think you did not read the question. Anyone else?
list fly ID and هو ما طالب منك شو اسمه كلياته. تمام, هو طالب منك الفلاي اي دي. بدنا نعمل سيلكت للفلاي اي دي.
اوكي.
سيلكت فلاي اي دي, وبدنا نعمل كمان فلاي اي دي. يس. والديستنيشن
airport code. Okay.
from origin airport code.
Origin airport code. From, in the from, what do you write? In the from clause, what do you write?
from نستدعيها من
لا دقيقة بس خلينا افتح ايش presentation هذا تبع ايش SQL. أنا عندي TM دقيقة M359.
هو الكود اصلا كله مو واضح.
كود
عفوا التيبل, هذا التيبل اللي فوق.
تيبل انا اوريك التيبل ما في مشكله. هذا تيبل تبع الفلايت. تيبل عادي في اوريجين ايربورت كود في ديستنيشن ايربورت كود في. بس ايش هيجي في فروم كلاوز؟ انا سؤالي انت ايش هيجي في الفروم كلاوز؟ انا عندك السلكت وعندك from where group by having. هذا كلها كلاوز.
وير
لا انا سؤالي في from clause. from clause ايش هيجي في from clause؟
from flight.
From flight. What is
Yes.
What is that flight?
Flight is database.
Table name. Name
table
of
name.
this or the table name. I'll just
هيك المصطلحات تداخلت.
No, I'm showing you this. It says a query consists of 5 clauses. It may consist of 5 clauses. Select clause. Okay. فيها select statement. ممكن star. ممكن الطالب في السؤال مثلا flight ID destination code أو شيء ثاني. أوكي. إذا جميع البيانات ستار. إذا مو جميع البيانات إيش تعرف؟
نحدد بس الكولوم.
نحدد الكولوم. From table list. وهنا from يجي في اسم التيبل ما يجي الكولوم names. يجي اسم التيبل. Where clause يجي conditions. وإيش الكونديشن؟ إيش الشرط اللي ناخذ البيانات هذه؟ إيش الشرط؟ جروب باي اذا عندك الجروبينج، يعني اذا انت بنعمل الجروبينج مثلا جروب اوف female students, group of male students, group of female patient, male patient, something like this. If you're making group, you use group by, and having group by is a column. Okay, is a column. زي يجي select في الcolumn أو group by برضو يجي column, grouping column, and having a search condition زي where clause. Having also search condition. طيب ماذا نستخدم having لما نيجي الجروب باي؟ اوكي، ونعمل السيرش على جروب باي نستخدم having. فهذا الفايل كلوز اساسي. اوكي، وزائد هذا في order by. كلنا نعرف انه order by بس هجيب البيانات في الترتيب، ممكن ascending order او descending order. اوكي، هذا المهم شيء. طيب نيجي السؤال هنا. السؤال انه list flight IDs, destination airport code, way of all flights flying from origin airport code DXP. طيب من فين اجيب هذه البيانات؟ اول شيء we have to see where I get all these details. يعني فين حصل هذه البيانات؟ الفلايت ID والديستنيشن ايربورت كود والاوريجن ايربورت كود في جدول واحد ولا من اكثر من واحد جدول؟ عندنا 3 جداول، عندنا فلايت وعندنا ريزرفيشن وعندنا باسنجر. اكيد في الباسنجر ما فيها فلايت ID ولا شيء، فما تحصل في الباسنجر. في ريزرفيشن في فلايت ID بس اوريجن ايربورت كود وديستنيشن ايربورت كود ما فيها، فاكيد في ريزرفيشن ما تحصل بيانات. فنيجي في الفلايت ID فلايت، فعندنا فلايت ID اوكي، عندنا اوريجن ايربورت كود اوكي، عندنا ديستنيشن ايربورت كود اوكي، خلاص جميع البيانات موجود في فلايت، جدول فلايت. فناخذ الايش from flight. اوكي، from flight. فاول شيء نشوف select flight ID و destination. اوكي، حسب السؤال طالب مننا flight IDs and destination airport codes. اوكي، فنكتب select flight ID and destination airport code from where? From flight table.
flight table.
Yes, from flight. Don't write table, just write flight.
Yes.
Okay, so you say flight from flight. Okay, now في شرط هنا of all flights or from flying from. لما نشوف الشرط هنا flying from origin airport code DXB and نجيب الفلايت ID و destination airport فيها all flights that are only flying from the DXB. فهنا بيجي ال where condition. where origin airport code is equal to DXB. Okay, this way you will get all the flight ID and destination airport code for all flights that are flying from DXB. Okay, this is how you solve the query. So I just repeat for you, whenever you see any question that you want to write SQL, first thing is that look at what is asking in the question. The first thing. So in question number 1 it says list. List, it means print or give me list flight IDs and destination. Display flight IDs and destination airport codes of all flights. Even I know جميع الرحلات from flying from. Okay, origin airport code is DXB. هذا الشرط. فالشرط دائما يجي الكونديشن في where clause. وهو origin airport code is equal to DXB. From where we get this data, you have to look into the table where I get flight ID and destination airport code. So if I look at the flight table, I have that flight ID, I have the origin, I have the destination. في جدول واحد. فخلاص we stop here and we use only the flight table and we write from flight. Okay, and what we need flight ID and destination airport code. So this will be the query. And this is how you write the queries. This is how you have to write the queries. Okay. If I ask you another question here, just to go make it more easy, I mean, just to get more idea, I'll ask another question here. List all flight details. Okay, all flight details. Okay, flying from BLR. Flying from BLR. So how you write the query now? 1 minute, please. لا، هو الفائدة الجوين انه اذا المعلومات موزع، لانه احنا شفنا النورماليزيشن، ايش صار في النورماليزيشن؟ نوزع المعلومات كلها لحل بعض المشاكل زي الريبيتيشنز او duplicate of the data in certain anomalies. طيب بعض الاحيان نحتاج الريبورتس، هذا الاس كيو نكتب نعمل الريبورتس. مثلا انا بعرف انه الاسماء الباسنجرز والريزرفيشن ستاتس تبعهم في رحله كذا وكذا. طيب فهذه المعلومات موجود في اكثر من واحد جدول، موجود في واحد جدول، فهنا نحتاج الجوينز. اوكي، هذا يفيد فيها. وبرضه في حاله اللي انت وضح لنا، برضه هذه الحاله برضه ممكن احتاج الجوين عشان نعرف انه فين الباسنجر هذه بالضبط في اي رحله.
تمام. طيب دكتور، ايش اخر شيء؟ انا اعرف انه عندك السماع وبعطلك، بس انا عندي مشكله اني قاعد احاول ادور على برنامج SQL، فلقيت ماي SQL بس ماني عارف صراحه، يعني الشاشه تظهر لي سوداء زي CMD.
نشوف انه في هذا النوت بوكس ممكن نقدر حتى في النوت بوكس، يعني الاس كيو ال تبع النوت بوكس في بارت 9 وبارت 10 وبارت 11 كلها اشتغل اس كيو ال. الثاني ممكن انت كمان استخدم ايش؟ الوامب سيرفر، في سيرفر اسمه وامب اكس ام. ايوه اكس ام، ممكن اكس ام نستخدم اكس ام فيها ادمن، والادمن ندخل في الادمن، ممكن هنا نعمل داتابيس ونعمل جداول.
خلاص اوكي، شكرا يا دكتور.
طيب I'll just stop here for today. I have a meeting now, I have to go.